What's up, Pride fans? Welcome back here to LPO on a Monday. We were not here last week, but we are back to talk some Orlando Pride because finally we have received some news about what's happening this year. And of course, as always, I'm joined by my co-host and friend, Luis Carlos Pineda. What's up, Luis? Are you ready to talk some Orlando Pride?
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting to be back. So thank you to everybody that's joining live. Appreciate you. I do want to let you know that Twitter right now, the live stream through the software that we use is experiencing issues for today. So if you're on X, I just retweeted manually I just posted the video manually on X. So make sure you're joining and retweeting and spreading the word. We're also live on YouTube, so thank you so much for your support there. Uh, yeah, it's a very quiet preseason, I do have to say. A lot of closed door, friendly matches. Um, the Washington Spirit also, we can talk about that, but we have some topics here. I know we want to discuss. Preseason's
Yeah.
finally announced. Then also we have the kickoff, the soccer Pride fan events. Luana was called up for Brazil, and then we have major NWSL transfers like Croy Batoon and Claire Hutton moving. So nothing for the Pride though, which is kind of frustrating. But
We got some off-season, we got preseason news, right? But we don't have any transfer news for Orlando Pride today. But we've been waiting for them to announce the preseason. I honestly thought they might not ever announce the preseason. I thought maybe this is the new thing where they just don't tell us what games at all we're going to be playing and we don't know. So it was not until what day is this? February 13th. So it was only 3 days ago, in which, the first game of the season will be on March 15th. So really not even a month away from the first opener. We have finally the preseason announcements that came through, and we know, what's happening. We know who we're playing. Um, I think overall, before we get into our preseason, Luis, and you mentioned it there, not a lot of information coming out from the club at all, really, regarding the players or, the games we're playing or, camps or where we're going up until 3 days ago. And then comparatively to that, right, you've got teams that are playing in NWSL teams that are playing in Coachella. So you've got teams like brand new teams like Denver. They're in a tournament where you're able to, some of those clubs are even streaming those games. You're able to go watch, right? You can go watch, Portland Thorns versus Angel City if you want in a preseason game. So I think this idea that we have to hide everything in preseason maybe should be reviewed about the club, because I think it's very difficult to generate hype and generate excitement when, really we're only a month away now and we're finally hearing about what's happening and there's, not a lot happening. So I think if we want more butts and seats, hiding away the preseason and acting like we're not here, I don't think helps. We want to be talked about. We want to be in the press. I mean, the fact that we didn't have a Pride Pod last week is a perfect example for me of we didn't have anything to talk about. So, there's nothing there. We need a little bit more from the club in preseason. I'm not saying we have to get, games and go to a whole tournament, get it all streamed, but there's a level here of, sharing information that I think could be achieved without giving away all of the secrets that they are, I guess, trying to protect.
yeah, I mean, I we need to. I know that this is all about rebuilding team chemistry and closer scrimmages and friendlies are designed to kind of simulate competitive intensity without the public exposure. Because there's a lot of tactical experimentation, player rotation. There's a lot of injury prevention as well. Now, I do feel that uh, if you want your brand to be out there, if you believe in the core members of your team, clearly I'm not saying that you should play Barbara Banda through the preseason all the time, but at least, you know, play a little tournament, do a little cup, building quietly. It feels, for a small market like Orlando, is just kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, Orlando Pride is one of the teams that has a star on their crest, which is different than the men's teams, for example, that they don't. And they should be just selling the Orlando Pride brand. Either doing their own thing, their own invitational, or why not playing Coachella or some of those tournaments up there. I understand that it's a little more investment and a lot more logistics and maybe paying a couple of more people here and there, but it's worth it for the fan experience. If not, you can get some of the fellow podcasters and just kind of give them all the tools to be on those matches, or why not broadcast it and put it on your YouTube channel. You could put four cameras, and get it done. I mean, I think it's just kind of thinking outside the box, and I think fans would definitely appreciate, hey, maybe it is closed door, but I'm able to see the practice, maybe the first half even, give you a little bit of a best of both worlds, but it's just not fun. We haven't really heard absolutely anything. And I feel bad for the people that, we've, that watch our show and they're not able to get any content. Now, I've seen stuff from Denver. I've seen stuff from Boston all over my feed. Like, I've seen stuff from San Diego. So there's something they're doing. And these are two newcomer teams. I've even seen stuff for USL Super League and, DC Power and all these other teams, but I have not seen nothing for the Pride. Shinta says, still no Marta citing a preseason. If we actually get some funds from a Brazilian team before retirement, that would be amazing. Boston beat Washington and Denver won their match as well, says Shinta. New blonde in camp, no idea who she is. Through NRI, I assume, says Shinta0013. Thank you, Shinta. Appreciate you. But yeah.
That reminds me, was it this time last year and we didn't know, we were trying to figure out a few of the trialists that were like into camp, but we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I like we talked about, just a little bit of information. We're not, I don't think we're trying to give away all of the ideas or whatever is going to go on in preseason, that we're trying to keep behind closed doors until opening game. But I think a little bit of information from the club would be appreciated. And of course, they did play 3 days ago, based on the preseason announcement that came out, that they're playing the Washington Spirits. I don't know, and Luis doesn't know. We have found nowhere can we find any information about whether that was a win or a loss. I mean, it's preseason, so we shouldn't take too much stock in it anywhere. But even on the Washington Spirit side, I haven't heard anything from them. Usually somewhere somebody finds out, oh, this was the score, or this was this, or this team played. So we're really not getting any information on that one. So we played a game. Who played? How we played? No idea. And then we're going to have another one on the 20th where we play Racing Louisville. And then right after that, on the 22nd, we play UF. So I imagine, because those two games are right after each other, Luis, that they're going to play the starters versus Louisville and then rotate a lot pretty heavily. Like, we're not going to play back-to-back 2 days apart in preseason with 90 minutes for a lot of the starters. So I think a lot of rotation there, and probably the opportunity to give minutes out to players that need it. And then finally, March 1st, we'll be playing Gotham. All of these seem like home games because they're slated that way. So as far as we can tell, like, they're just staying here in Orlando and everyone's here or coming to us, or again, we don't know where these games are taking place. But it looks like another in Orlando game versus Gotham on March 1st, which will then be 2 weeks away from the home opener. So there's no preseason game the week before, which I don't know. I find that a little strange, Luis. I feel like you should be getting in weekly, games as a habit. So we've got our last preseason game and then 2 weeks of rest before the home opener on the 15th.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I wish I would have seen the Washington Spirit game. No, don't get me wrong. This is great competition before the season. Don't get me wrong. It's UF. is a really good school. It's it's a college powerhouse, I'll say. So it's an opportunity for the young Pride players to gain minutes and test some of the attacking transitions that they're going to be trying out there at the IMG Academy in Bradenton. Also, excited for Racing Louisville because this is a private scrimmage as well. Would like to see how they pair up, especially in the midfield. They used last season. Orlando had a lot of midfield battles with Racing Louisville. Would have loved to seen some of that. And then Gotham again. They're the NWSL champs. And I mean, come on, man! Like you guys can put that in on YouTube or something. You know what I mean? like and it would just be fun, to see that. Unfortunately, it's good competition. I think they're gonna, test a lot of things. I wish I could see some of the partnerships because it's gonna be hard to decipher, what they've been doing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's what. If Seb Hines is going to throw out something so revolutionary, then I feel like maybe hiding away in preseason is worth it. But I don't. Let's say in years gone past that we haven't been amazed by what we've seen on opening day to the point of like, wow, I'm so shocked. This is great that you kept this behind doors. Like, I think often we have a pretty idea about the starting lineup. We kind of know where things are going to go, unless he's going to change all the tactics based on last year. But yeah, I think it's difficult to get excited about the season when you don't see any, indications of what's like. We get these little snippets of training. And I think for your casual fan, that's fine. But I think for the, more interested like us, it's just not enough really, Luis. So let's see. We won't know, I guess, unless they announce what happens in this games. We'll have no idea whether preseason was going well or badly based on results against, NWSL clubs.
I'm gonna see if I can make to some of these games. I know that they're playing at the IMG. Maybe they allow me to maybe
It says
go.
closed door. I don't know if that counts towards press too. I imagine it does. So
yeah,
if there's no press and there's no fans, then
that sucks.
no one's gonna know anything.
Casey losing Hutton is crazy, says Shinta. Shinta says almost as crazy as Orlando starting 2026 with Morehouse still being the number one. So Shinta. Not a Morehouse fan at all. We miss you, Shinta. We miss your humor 100%. So well, in the side of good news, kick off the soccer, right?
Yeah, more announcements made. Of course, we just kind of going through the kickoff to soccer week for Orlando City. We had the 5K. I know a lot of for the Orlando Pride fans were in the 5K as well, and now we're coming up on that same thing for Orlando Pride. We're doing this Pours Over Pride tomorrow. They have it from 4 to 6 at the Create Coffee. I don't know which Create Coffee that location that is. I'll have to look here. There's one that's like near the stadium in the Creative Village. Yeah, that's the one. So it's kind of in the UCF like downtown campus near the stadium. So that's a cool event if you want to meet some players. It says Simone Jackson and Nicole Payne will be there doing afternoon coffees. And then the kit launch, I saw some people asking about where the kit launch would be. It is going to be in the Final Whistle. So in the same place that they just did the Orlando City kit launch, which is the themed out pub, which is in Thornton Park, which old school people of Orlando will remember Dexter's in Thornton Park years ago. And that was like a great spot to go get some, brunch, maybe watch some Sunday afternoon soccer or something. So that is it's now a pop-up theme situation. So for the next 3 months, it is themed out with all Orlando City stuff. I know they've put up a bunch of Orlando Pride stuff, I'm sure, for this event to happen. There'll be players there. They'll have the jersey there. I don't know if they're going to launch it earlier in the day, Luis. Probably. I think that's what they did for City. So maybe it won't be revealed there, but there'll definitely be the event with players and, you can buy it and all that stuff.
No, they came out with the decennial kit, last year, and
that was such a nice kit.
that was one of the most beautiful kits I've ever seen. So I wonder, and they've done recently really well with their kits. Like they got the moon kit, they had the white and the black kit.
Great kits for Pride. The
I
orange kit,
mean, the orange kit grew on you.
it
I
did.
remember.
Literally and figuratively, it grew on me. I still don't own it, but I do want to pick it up. It's a collector's item, that orange kit. I mean, the Ad Astra, there's been so many great kits. I mean, this is going to be a new away kit. We're going to stick with that Centennial, I believe. I don't think Nike's going to change both. I believe it should be just changing the orange. I'm guessing they're going to go for like the light blue, the Pride blue that you see in the fountain. That's my complete guess. I have no background information on this whatsoever. I'm just guessing. I would love to see like the Arsenal, like the original one we had, where it's like, like blue body and then maybe like purple sleeves. Like that would be cool, I think. What do you want to see, Luis? What do you think for the kit? What would you like to see for this away kit?
Something. I mean, look. Let's look at this. I think I have the kit history of the Pride.
Oh, you do? Oh, wow. Look at this.
So
yeah, see that one there? The original home. I want to do that, but like reverse it for this new away kit. So have like the blue body with like the purple shoulder sleeve. I think that would look dope.
That one will be cool.
Yeah.
That will be cool.
But I think they're just gonna go on the blue. My spidey senses tell me, like, you can see it on the home jersey at the moment. We have it the blue on the sleeve there. I think they could do a whole jersey in that color. It's so pretty.
I would like to go back to this.
That one was a great kit.
The Ad Astra was
the
one
Ad
of the best
Astra.
kits.
Yeah, I think that's some favorites amongst the fan base. The Ad Astra was great. The Luna kit was great. If you go up, you'll probably see that one.
This one,
there's the Luna. Yeah, that was the away. Like that's a combo. 2022, you had the Ad Astra and the Luna. That's a good combo.
Yeah, that one was a badass kit.
Yeah,
now,
that was a badass.
Orlando City came out with their yellow kit, right? Now
it looks like that goalkeeper kit there.
Looks like the goalkeeper kit. But I mean, the Pride has gotten better and better when it comes to their kits.
Yeah, I love that home kit.
What kind of kit are we gonna see this year? I don't know. I mean, another Treasure Coast. Ode to the Treasure Coast.
No.
I
think I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think it's got to be something. It's got to be an interesting color or something. It's going to be another sublimation, is my guess.
Yeah,
but we don't have any clues on the kit. I'm really in the
probably
dark
just more of that blue. Maybe a whole entire blue kit.
I would love that. Yeah, we haven't done a solid blue.
It look like it will look like Manchester City.
Yeah. At the event, at the final whistle, we're gonna have new VP of Soccer Operations and General Manager Caitlin Carducci is gonna be there. So that's going to be interesting, as well as Seb Hines and Julie Doyle and Hannah Anderson and Oyane. So this is your chance. Get some, player signings. They've got giveaways. You can buy the jersey there. There was a DJ. The food's actually pretty good. They have like Italian food and it's like bar food. They have good pizza. So yeah, highly recommend. I'm going to be there. So that is like not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So the 26th, Luis, is when that jersey comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see a brand new Pride kit. I wish I would have kind of. I wish I would have gotten the actual championship one.
Oh, the one with the star.
Yeah,
so good. You do need to RSVP if you're going to go to the kit launch. So you should have got an email about that. You can do that, or you can just go on the website and find the page. Pints with Pride is going to be on March 3rd. That one also at the final whistle, but there you have Summer Yates and Corey Dyke. Is that your birthday, Luis?
Well, no, mine's the 4th.
Okay.
But
this is the Tuesday, March 3rd.
Yeah.
So again, they're going to be guest bartenders. So this is something that the city just did. So you can have Corey Dyke or Summer Yates make you a drink. So that could be pretty fun.
I can have Corey Dyke.
That could be a good fun event. I bet Corey makes a meat cocktail. Scarf the City is happening on March 10th. So this is a really great event, which they do every year, where they just put scarves everywhere. So all the staff in the middle of, at 4 a.m. wake up, go put scarves around, and then it's like a fun hunt for all the fans. Wake up, go to your part of the neighborhood, find where the scarf is that's been posted on social media. That's a really cool one. So look out for that.
Huh? In Paramore at 10 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. They do it everywhere. They also will be giving out free scarves at the amphitheater from 7 to 9. So if you don't want to go hunt one, you could just go get one from Lake Eola. And later that night, there will be an event at the Final Whistle pub as well, where Anna Morehouse and Viv and Zara Shavoshi and new player Seven Castaigne will all be there from 6 to 8 for a meet and greet. And you can also pick up a scarf there and get it autographed there as well. So lots of opportunities to meet players during this week. So that's very cool. We love that. And then finally, on March 15th, we have our home opener versus Seattle Reign.
We'll be there.
4 p.m. on a Sunday as we kick off our 11th NWSL campaign, Luis. Can you believe that? This is the Pride's 11th year.
Unbelievable.
You were there year one covering the team. Remember that?
Yeah, man, it's insane, covering the Pride. It's an honor, and I just think that it's great. I mean, so many memories. But another season for the Orlando Pride, and I look forward to certainly putting a lot more content for that. And with a brand new kit, which is gonna be fun. Now, there's a lot of expectations with the newcomers as well. I can wait to see how the partnership between Raffaele and Haley Mace are gonna work out. Also, is Carrie Abella fully fit, like with none of that brace stuff going on? How Barbara Ben? I heard Barbara Ben has been balling in preseason.
She's here. She's on the field. I haven't seen Marta yet, but I've seen Barbara.
Well, Marta,
I know Marta's in town because she went to this event that Carrie was at this place at the Final Whistle. She was spotted there, so she is around. So
is she retiring?
I don't know. Maybe they just haven't snapped any pictures of her training or something, but I don't know what's up with that. Again, we don't get any information.
Yeah, that's not good. Of all side where it says the orange kit never grew on me. I have 3 of them and wore plenty, but we'll be glad to see it go.
I love that it never grew on you, yet you have 3 of them. Oh, that's commitment, right? You don't even like it, but I'm going to buy 3 of them.
It says Banda first game back from injury. She got a hat trick. She's ready to destroy. Shinta, I have a feeling that you're in the system, Shinta.
Does Shinta know? Shinta, do you have the inside track on what happened to you? Are you looking over the fence, Shinta? Is that what it is? I'm kidding.
No,
but I wanted to say, Luis, I think this is great that we have all the events leading up to the kickoff. Maybe announce all this a bit sooner, a bit earlier would be what I would say. I mean, this was announced when? Let's see. Yeah, Saturday the 14th, and the first event is the 17th. So again, just let's try and get ahead of the curve here a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good number of events for the fans. And again, it's gonna be a fun season. I really wish that there would be more coverage, though. That's what's missing to me, at least. But in good news is that Luana, which is our, she's gone through so many ups and downs after the whole story that happened with her sickness. Coach Arthur Elias named Luana to the 26 roster for the upcoming friendlies against Costa Rica which is February the 25th, and Venezuela, February the 28th, and Mexico, which is March the 3rd, in preparation for the 2027 World Cup qualifiers. So this is her first call-up since 2023, post her Orlando debut in September 25. So definitely, what does this mean to me? She should definitely have a role as a starter in the team. I think she looked sharp last season. When she came in, she was a spark. They just need to manage her minutes carefully. She's gonna miss some of these late February scrimmages for her national duty. She's gonna just probably play the one in Gotham out of all of them, probably the one on March 1st. And on March 1st. And the coach of Brazil actually did an interview about it. And he said she has an unbreakable spirit, that her story has amplified discussions on athletes' health when it came to Brazilian athletes. And so it's great. I think it's fantastic to see Luana fully shine, and I know she loves representing Brazil, and she's gonna come. I think she's gonna come out beasting, John. I think she's gonna come out being like the Luana when we first signed Luana. Putting
Yeah,
the team on her shoulders.
I
So
hope so. I mean, she's such a. You can see that she's got great like intelligence and class and just like the skill technically on the ball. Like there's so many attributes there. It's just the fitness thing, and having recovered from everything that she's been for, that you just want to make sure she gets a good season here where she's actually putting in good minutes. And I want to see her compete for that starting role, Louise. I think that we do have a lot of good defensive midfielders, but I think she's got something that a lot of the other ones don't bring. And I think just the way she reads the game, the responsibility I see from her on the field, like the way she leads, I think as well, right in that midfield is really impressive. So I'm hoping that she's going to do well with Brazil. Like, knock on wood, she doesn't get an injury or something with
no,
them
don't
out
say
in
that.
that would be a nightmare scenario.
I
So
want to cry,
hopefully
man.
it just goes smooth and she gets through this and then joins ready, like even hungrier from a preseason, because she's had national team time as well. Yeah, I just want her to be fit and healthy and just start to really push to be a starter again. Like we didn't get to see that last year. I think she needed this preseason, and now she's got this preseason. I think hopefully going to be enough where you see Luana really come alive and push to be one of the starters week in, week out. Maybe not 90 minutes every week, but at least 60, 70 every week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if she does great in this games against Costa Rica, Venezuela, and Mexico, I have a feeling I would love to see her I would like to see her next to Haley McCutcheon. I
Yeah.
think she'll be, I mean, that'll be a peace of mind in itself for the back four. And it's gonna make things much easier. Not a lot of double roles. Haley can do her thing on the right. Carrie can do her thing on the left. You got the center back. So I love that, having her. And now I also want to say I've seen Angelina a lot in a lot of the posters and a lot of the like press, pictures and things. This needs to be Angelina's year, and I think we say that every year, but I think Angelina needs to go back to square one. She needs to be that light, that really important midfielder for the Pride. Um, I can stress that enough. Because last season she wasn't, unfortunately.
It's going to be interesting to see how many defensive midfielders we play. Are we just going to go two? Are we going to do three like last year? If there's three, then it's probably Angelina, Luana. I'm sure Ali Limos wants to have a shout to be one of the starters as well in that mix. So if we're only playing two, then you really got some tough conversations to have in the midfield. if you're going to play 2 defensive mids, maybe we don't do that. We'll have to see. But I really hope Luana has a good season here. All right, let's move on to our final topic of the podcast today. We're going to talk about some of these moves that have happened around NWSL. 2 really big ones, literally on the same day were announced. On February 11th, Kansas City announced that they signed Croy Bethune for $1 million from Washington Spirit. Luis, what was your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, it's a good trade. It's definitely. I think Croix Bethune probably wasn't as happy. She also wanted to make a little bit more money. And she was able to go to a place in which they kind of have a really good really big squad, and I think she's gonna fit right in to replace kind of Dabinia. So I think pairing her with Tema Chawinga is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I guess Croy Bethune wanted to go to Washington Spirit because I don't understand why Haley would want to sell like literally one of the best. I mean, if I was building a team in NWSL, I would put her in my 10 position or my 8 position like 9 times out of 10, right? She's the player I think that is one of the best young midfielders, one of the best young players in the league, hands down. So you wouldn't want to lose that from your roster. So the only reason I can imagine that Haley is letting this happen is because Croy has expressed a real desire to leave and go do a new something, right? And or maybe there's a balancing of the books there that had to happen because of the issues you had with signing, Trinity Rodman to so much money. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know what Haley Carter's thinking on this one was, but it definitely shocked me because she's such a great player, and any team in the league would want to sign her. I think for me, my immediate other thought went to okay, well, you got Croy Bethune for $1 million. We spent 1.5 million on Jackie Ovalle. I don't think Jackie Ovalle is going to bring you the numbers right now that Croy Bethune's able to do in this league and be as effective as Croy Bethune is in this league. Maybe that will change. Maybe Jackie will grow into the league and really, become a player that shows that 1.5 value. But for me, it says, okay, well, we could have got Croy Bethune for $1 million, therefore we need to see real, production out of a player that cost 1.5 million. Just to say, in terms of apples to apples, attacking player versus attacking player. I'm glad that we go out and spend money, but we need to make sure that they are an effective player for the money that we spent. Any other thoughts, Luis, on this one, Croy Bethune to Washington?
No, I agree with you. I think Jackie Ovalle needs to work out this year. I think there's no experiment with her. Hopefully she's been killing it and training hard and developing more muscle mass. Croix Bethune is just a straight up beast. Maybe, and again, I'm gonna sound a little bit biased, but it may be the market. Maybe she feels going from Washington to Orlando. I don't want to go to Orlando.
I don't know if we made a bid. Like, I don't. This might have, I don't know if we had a GM when this was happening. I don't know if we even had an opportunity to, like, it sounded like Croy Bethune shopped herself around the league, but I don't know if we were an option.
Now, if you give me who do I like best, I think Jackie Ovalle, it's going to take a little longer than expected, in my opinion. I would have taken Croy Bethune right away.
Yeah.
But again, that's just my opinion.
Look,
but
she's a known entity in this league. That's all I'm saying. It's like, what you're getting for that $1 million you spent, and you're getting top quality attacking midfield player. I'm not saying we can't get that out of Jackie, but there is a certain amount of, pressure there. You got spent a lot of money on it. That's what happens. Big transfer fee, big signing, big contract. There's always that extra pressure.
100%. Now, the Claire Hutton one was interesting too. So, um, I was surprised with that one actually. I don't know if you were too, but I just feel like they got a really good depth piece with a really one of the best aerial presence in the league. So it's just bolsters base backline 110%, and then you have somebody like Kunda Jandi there up top. They got better automatically with that signing.
Yeah, I mean, this is again Claire Hutton, different kind of player, right? Of course, more of a defensive mid, but such an impressive young player, one of the better defensive mids in the league. Similar situation, like she was looking for a way out of Kansas and wanted to go somewhere and shopped herself around the league. I heard a really great interview that she did on, I'm trying to remember now who it was. I think it was the Athletics podcast. And she was talking about how she liked the system and the plan and what they presented to her from Bay FC. And then that was a place that she felt like she wanted to go and, really take her, performances to the next level. And that was her spot. So I get it. I think again, though, right. We're starting to see these big transfers happening inside the league. 1 million and another 1.1 million here. I don't know. This is maybe because of the hip money and that people feel like they can move players around more and they're going to have more flexibility in their rosters, or what's going on. But there's two big signings there, and I think like a lot of the comments we'll read in a minute, what are we doing, Luis, right? We want to stay like we should be as relevant as Kansas City and Washington and Gotham and all these other clubs. So um are we done? Are we happy with our roster? I don't think so. I think there's, we have issues like in multiple positions that you could go and spend $1 million on a player or something like that and make our squad better. I don't think we are in a position where we can say, no, we're good. We're comfortable with what we've got. I think that we need to be looking to improve every season and every off season. And I don't like the idea of resting on our laurels while a lot of the other teams that we compare ourselves to in the league are making big moves and are signing players and are doing things. And we seem to be, I don't know, like just taking our time and assessing the situation.
Yeah, I mean, we are within a month of the primary transfer window to close. So it closes on March 16th. The secondary transfer window opens on July the 14th and closes September 7th. So, I mean, I think they still could get another added piece. I would like, if you ask me, an attacker that could play both flanks. Somebody maybe if Jackie's coming on the right, or maybe put Jackie on the left and then find another right winger. You know what I mean?
I'd like a new number 10. That's what I'd like. Like
Yeah.
I would have liked to sign like a Croy Bethune type that
Yeah.
you can put, because I think we rely too much on Marta playing the number 10 position, and she's great, but she's not, young anymore. And I think we need to move on with putting in a new star number 10 that the team can revolve around. Like we've talked about before, that maybe that could be Jackie, in which case then maybe another winger, right? If she's not looking like the wing is the position for her, maybe we need to have her in the 10 position where she could be more technical and turn on a dime and make those kind of 1-2 passes around the edge of the box and not have to physically overpower people to get past them all the time. Maybe that's the answer, in which case we go out and get another winger. We don't, we've got Barbara Banda, we've got backup strikers. I think we're fine there. I think defensive mid has got a lot of build out, maybe, on the back line. But if we're talking big transfer and a player that's going to make a big impact, it's more likely to be an attacking midfielder like a 10 or a winger. I think that you could add into this team to really take it up another notch and, have even more attacking prowess out there. I think the issue a lot of last year I had was like we didn't play an attacking enough style. We didn't play enough, really aggressive players at the same time, where we were just kind of a bit too easy to defend. And, yeah, we didn't have Barbara, but a lot of our players, it was too easy to shut them down and stop them from doing what they wanted to do. We don't have enough players, I think, to really go out and be so creative that they break the mold, that they're able to, get that extra pass or that extra cross or make that extra little bit of creativity. And before, we relied on Marta for that a lot. And again, I just don't think we could be doing that. So is that going to come from Jackie Ovalle? Is that going to come from, someone else on the field? I don't know. I mean, we know Barbara's going to bring it, but we can't just have our striker be the only one that can open the game up. I want to see that from the wingers. I want to see that from the 10. So maybe we need another really impressive attacking piece.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we have some comments this here. Orlando can never attract from within the league. They usually have to go out of the market, says.
See, that sucks. We need to change that. If that's true, I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's bad.
Well, I mean, you have and
like we got Haley Mace, like that we can get players
from
other teams.
Though.
But I think what Shit is saying is like we're not viewed as a really desirable, like not necessarily market from a club destination. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand this. I mean, it's just maybe politics have to do with it. I mean, we're in Florida. It's one of the most tax-friendly states in the country outside Texas. But if you want to, some people just feel more politically aligned with California. That could be it too. I mean, I don't see why. Maybe people like New York better, because if they're more politically inclined there. You cannot take away politics from the NWSL sometimes. So it makes it could be. Now I see a little different because you gotta sell your brand too. You gotta sell the opportunity.
Well, that's where the concern comes from with Emily Sams, that a lot of people think she wanted to leave because we're not a desirable club to be at. Like, is there a question around that, which is crazy? Consider that
Emily Sams.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that we won the double 2 seasons ago. So how does that not make you an attractive enough club? Like, what else is going on that we don't know about that is behind the scenes that people say about Orlando Pride, right? That's what I'm asking.
Maybe is, and again, I want to be, I also thought that as well, because if you ask me, I think there's so many ways to sell Orlando, but maybe they, even the coach of the national team had something to do with that. You got to go play in a place that's more open to so and so, because it's automatic. As soon as she came into Angel City, now she gets a start. Now she gets the armband. Like, it just made it seem so like, okay, if you leave Orlando, you're gonna get all this time with the national team. It just kind of what it seemed to me. Yeah. Maybe they feel like, because there's a Republican governor, they don't want that. Even though Orlando, it's the most Democrat city in Florida. So I mean, if you really want to say it in a way that's political, I mean, I think the I-4 corridor, it's blue, if you think about it. So I really don't understand it. I think it's just, I mean, you may want to think it's that. The ownership, maybe I really don't think Haley would ever talk bad about where she worked.
Feel like it has anything to do with the tactics and the training and the like environment we have there? Do we feel like Emily Sams maybe wasn't set up to succeed here in some way, which I don't see how that was, because she killed it here. But I don't know whether they don't like something about the way the coaches train or the way we play or tactics. I don't know.
It says, y'all remember when we were the only club Emma Hayes didn't come see when she took over the U.S. women's national team? Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility. it is a possibility, but that's when you, and I know this sounds so bad what I'm about to say, you make them come. Like, you don't give them a choice. You go with your nice suit. Hi, my name is Lewis. I represent the Orlando Pride. Like, let's come to Orlando. Hey, like you gotta just go. I mean, if sometimes the mountain isn't gonna come find you, you have to go to the mountain. You know what I mean? Some people that just want to be chased like that, and uh, somebody that just has won the Premier League. That's like, maybe she feels like Orlando doesn't align with her values. Now, why? I don't know. I just think the club has, I think it's been the most forward thinking. I mean, they've been more. They've surpassed the men's club when it comes to championship, the impact they've had in the city in so many levels. It's a beautiful story. It's just that
but I think, like Shinta says, the crowd isn't quite there. So I can understand that perspective. If you're like, hey, I want to play in front of a packed house every week. Arguably, we don't have that. So is that what it is? I don't know. I just think I don't want to think that we're rotten, Luis, because I don't think that's the case. I do think there seems to be a trend here of something's going on where people don't want to come play for the Pride. And before it was like we sucked, but we won the double. We have Barbara Banda, we have Marta, we have a very good squad. So this is where I'm starting to struggle with, like, okay, like, what else is wrong with us then?
It's at the Wolves. Like, is it because I mean,
maybe we're just out of touch and we don't know, Luis.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, I mean, the Wolves, they invested. I think Orlando Pride has been one of those teams that have invested so much on a pipeline for young women to come play the sport. They've also done all kinds of things. So you would think, also give her the reins to Haley Carter to essentially lay the foundation for the club.
That's the thing. We hear all this talk about how we set up the right culture and, like, we're getting the right part. And, like, there was a lot of positivity about how Orlando Pride turned it around, and it's a great example of a club and all of this stuff. And now I see it going the other way. Like, was it just Haley Carter and she left, and now everybody thinks that we're now good? Like, was it only because she was here that people wanted to come? Like, there's got to be more to us than that, right? So I just think it could be a trend. I want to look out for it. I want to see what else happens with the transfers this window. Maybe we're going to make some more big moves. Maybe we'll lose a big player or two. Maybe we'll bring in a big player or two.
No.
But yeah, I think the Emily Sams one was really interesting.
No, when it comes to, it says here, the city still doesn't really show up for the Pride. Now, you have to understand, I mean, you got to know your limitations. I know I'm going to sound, I have the whole complete different idea. Me, if I was the GM of the Orlando Pride, I will play at the Heritage Park. I will have Noche Latina. I'll have a preseason tournament. I will pack Heritage Park. Like, I will have OCB train in Bradenton. Like, personally, like, because it's baby steps. You cannot also be unorganic. Like, it's getting better with Orlando City. I mean, I feel like it's getting much better. I mean, since I started, like, it was a complete disconnect. Like, there was no, like, there wasn't even a word that it was a women's team. Like, that's how bad it was. Now, and I think a lot of the content creators, also communications. I think when Jackie Maynard was part of the communications team, she did a great job of kind of building that bridge. And also, now the bridge has been, I think, built. It just needs to, it's going to come at a lump sums. It cannot be like, it cannot be like Seattle or Portland or other markets that are already more, progressive at that level. When, it's gonna happen organically. We're a different market now. What do? Live within your means. Just you already pack an average of 5 to 8,000. You literally are doing the lower bowl. Like, you could do the Heritage Park. It'll feel more like a fortress. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking outside the box, and it's free. I mean, it's free land technically for the club, so they don't have to pay people to turn on the lights. So it's just all these situations. But no, we want to play in the same stadium that everybody plays. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think they should
yeah.
stay in the stadium. I think we should relegate them to another smaller stadium. I understand what you're saying from atmosphere wise, but I think the half empty stadium needs to be like a symbol of like we've got work to do, right? I think we shouldn't, I also think there has to be something to be said that Orlando, it just is not the same size as Gotham, as Washington, right? So like I think we should compare ourselves to like KC. I think that's a good comparison. And they on average, like they built a stadium that was like 12,000 and they
Yeah,
filled it out because they didn't want a half empty stadium every week. So
100%.
like I think that's the thing. We don't compare ourselves to the markets that are really, really big because I just don't think we have enough people that are interested in women's sports, sadly, in Central Florida to get 20,000 out to a game. I want to encourage that people to do that, and I want it to get to that point. I just don't think we're there yet. But whereas if you're in Washington, then there's a lot more people to pull from that are interested in women's sports, and therefore you can get more people out to a game. So I think that has to be taken into account. And I do think the club needs to try more things, but I don't agree with some people that say they don't do anything because I don't think that's true at all. I do see a lot of
No, not at all. They
advertisements
do a
for the
lot.
Pride. I see billboards all over town. I do see a lot of stuff that they do try to do, and they try to bring people from the men's team, and they try to, promote and push and offer tickets and make it cheap enough that people want to come and all these things. So I think they can do more, but I don't think that the reason we don't have a full stadium is because they don't advertise the team correctly. I don't think that's true either. I think there's a bit of everything, and we want to strive for more, but it's going to take time. Like women's sports is getting bigger all the time, and I think in our market we've kind of reached a plateau, and we got to try and figure out how to get over that and increase things quicker so that we end up with 18, 19,000 a week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting there. I mean, I remember from going from 1,000 to, again, for our average to be between 5,000 to 8,000 on a good day. That's huge. It's a huge bump, and that is work from like John said, from a lot of people. And again, there's a bridge is being built. So that was the toughest part. I think now it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen all at once. It's gonna happen step by step. I think we're making a lot of progress. So Gotham gets no fans yet, can attract quality U.S. players. Orlando just doesn't get that. Yeah, I mean, we gotta. I think we have a pipeline of players. We've done really good with signing players like Corey Dyke and Carabello. I just feel like it's a KC burning a bunch of quality youth US players. Let's see what our new GM KCGM does. We know Carter didn't like to bring in young players. There you go. Yeah, it's a possibility. I will love to see what Carducci can do. I mean, maybe if she can bring us Temma Chawinga, probably with Banda.
I'd love to see a bit of a splash to get people excited before the season starts. Women's national team player is always the top of my
100%.
list to get the butts in seats.
Tad Macario.
I want to say shout out to Julia way earlier in the comments, Luis, who said the
Yeah.
Pride beat Spirit 3-2 with Banda all three for her hat trick, which is what Shinta was referring to. Where did y'all see this? Because like this was not posted officially. I feel like y'all got this somehow. Tell us your ways. Where was this posted? Is it just across the interspheres that you guys heard this is what happened? Because I feel like I saw that somewhere, but I can't remember where. So yeah,
Yeah.
Banda scored a hat trick in the first game. There you go, guys. The people knew.
Yeah, Band to score a hat trick. I'm looking
I knew
right
you would
here.
know.
I'm looking here. I didn't see anything either. But yeah, I like
Oh,
the
Shinto was talking about a hat trick for Zambia. Okay. I thought you
for
were talking to this hat trick, apparently, that Julia said happened.
oh, so there's a hat trick from yeah, I haven't seen absolutely nothing. But I know that she got the
Word on the street is we won 3-2. Let's put it that way.
well, I mean, if we beat if every time anytime we beat Washington, it's a good day. So
Yeah. Let's hope we won. Let's put it that way. But again, full circle back to the beginning of the podcast. Can we, even if we lose, that's okay. I don't mind if you announce preseasons that we lost. I don't care. I'd rather that than we're all sitting here wondering what happened in the game against Washington.
yeah, like, and also, for example, like I can go with my camera and my tripod, and I can just one camera. I can, can live stream there. I could even narrate. It was like, hey, we have Haley Mays dropping the ball forward.
We don't want to give away the secrets, Luis.
Yeah, think about it. Like, we gotta we gotta think outside the box, guys. I mean, we gotta give the fans like some insights of what's happening within the team. You know what I mean? You can just it's as I joined this. I joined the Zambian.
I'm on that Facebook page. Maybe that's where I saw it.
There's sports journalists posted on there. Oh wow!
I appreciate you, Julia, but I would
Julia.
question mark on that one. I've seen some things on that page that I'm.
I've seen a lot of buy this shirt and put your credit card
number. It's the same
place
that says Banda's gonna join Barca every week. So I appreciate you though for doing some good stuff.
No, thank you, Julia. Appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. All right, that's everything we're going to talk about today on the Pride Pod. We have a good little discussion there at the end. I feel like we got some venting about how people are feeling about preseason and just the lack of news and potential player moves. There's always that jealousy of what are other people doing? What are we doing? But we'll be back next week, of course, to talk more Orlando Pride. If you've not done so, go ahead and drop a like on the video. Follow us on social media. It's Loud and Proud Orlando or LPO_podcasts on many of the social media platforms. If you've not done so, go ahead and follow us there. You can also follow me on any of the social medias as John Rollins TV. I also have an NWSL podcast that I started. If you haven't seen that, about the 5 episodes now. We just did a deep dive of Boston and a deep dive of Denver.
Oh wow!
So we'll be talking lots of NWSL stuff over there as well with my host Alyssa. So that's been really fun. Check that out for more NWSL content. Luis, what else you got going on, buddy?
No, just thank you guys for your support. We're gonna be putting out now that hopefully they're gonna have some footage. We still have some post press conference. There should be an Orlando Prime Media Day, so we may hopefully get some interviews. More interviews this year for LPO, and also we're gonna have a Tampa Bay Sun probably podcast if you're interested in the US, and it's gonna be pre-recorded. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it live, but it's gonna come out kind of like a weekly recap of what happened in the USL Super League. But again, look, we have
shout out to Pride or Die, pointing out the billboard on the socials.
There you go. My Pride or Die, Billboards of Angelina advertising the team. There you go.
And as always, Luis, we say, just like Angelina on the billboard, Vamos Pride.
Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
See you next